Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here. It is finally Friday, and as promised, and a little unconventionally, I might add, I'm going to be giving you guys a 3x Hero Strike structure deck profile. So again, this is just what can you build within 3 copies of the deck. And the reason I say it's unconventional is because all I did was I took the cards from our draft deck, and some of them are right side around, some of them are upside down. So rather than pull out extra copies, it's going to be a little weird. So keep that in mind with you. And we're going to get you guys this deck list, all right? So the first thing you're going to run is you're going to run 2 placeholders and a elemental hero Avian. So we want to play 3 Avians. This is mostly due to the fact that we do have the mask change. This is going to allow us access to Divine Wind. Again, we just want to play our wind attribute characters since that's part of the structure. We're going to go another 2 proxies into a triple Neos alias. Most of the time, we're not even going to bother trying to resolve the Gemini effect of normal summoning this card a second time in order to give it the full name change. We're just interested in a 4-star, 1900 points, searchable light attribute monster. Again, this will allow us to get into, I want to say it was Koga, as well as if we get multiple masked heroes off, this will allow us to get into contrast hero. Additionally speaking, I think we're using it in the, yeah, we are using it. So this will give us a hero blast target for later. Next monster in the main deck, where you're going to be using 3 copies of the elemental hero Shadow Mist. Now, Shadow Mist is, again, this is going to be the dark attribute. This is going to be our inline for the Dark Law. But this is one of the more important cards that we'll play. Whenever this one is special summoned, we could add a change quick play spell from our deck to our hands. This is mask change 1 or 2. And if this card gets sent to the graveyard, we can add 1 hero monster from the deck to the hand with a different name. Each of these effects is once per turn, and you get to only resolve 1 of these per turn. So just be careful. Don't try to resolve both effects on the same copy, same turn. Just won't work. Next up, since we are using the structure deck, I went with 3 of the Homunculus Alchemic Being. Again, we're running 3 because 3s is optimal with the structure deck build. Also, this helped raise our power ceiling since Neos is already at 19. Alchemic being an 1800 point card is good. It starts off as base light, which again allows us to go into Koga, but since it does have the ability to change its attribute once per turn, allows us a little more of a versatility play. Next up, we do have 3 copies of Honest. Honest, again, is going to be used for battle tricking. This is going to allow Neos Alias to go big. This is going to allow Homunculus in base attribute to go big. Technically, you could use Honest on Honest. This will work for Koga. This will also work for Chaos. So again, just good all-round card. And then last monster we're going to run 3 copies of Summoner Monk. Now, just real quick, I'm going to go over the full effect, and then we'll talk about the interactions, okay? So while this is face up on the field, it immediately goes to defense mode. It cannot be tributed itself, and once per turn you can discard a spell card to special summon a level 4 monster from your deck. That monster cannot attack this turn. Now, generally speaking, when we go into Summoner Monk, what we are looking to do is Link or Xyz plays. As far as this deck is concerned, though, this is a quick out to Homunculus, the Alchemic Being. We can go into this. We can go ahead, choose up the attribute that we want. We can immediately search into Shadow Mist. Shadow Mist will allow us to go ahead, since it was special summoned, pull out the mask change. And then what we could do is we could be like super controversial. Like, it's got 1500 defense. You could technically put that in defense mode since it couldn't attack that turn anyway. And we can get rid of the Summoner Monk. At least if we're using the mask change 2, we can. If you're using mask change 1, you're going to have to use a hero. But this will allow us to get searches into everybody except Avian. So again, good stuff. We can even use this to search for Honest, and then use Honest's secondary effect that allows it as a monster on the field once per turn to jump back into the hand. So again, Summoner Monk, not terrible. He's going to help set up some stuff. Moving to spells, we're going to play 2 copies of Hero Lives. And again, this is just a good starter. This again helps us get into Shadow Mist. I do not like playing 3. At 3, this spell just feels blocky, unless, of course, it's like detrimental to your strategy to pull it. The way this works, if you control no face-up monsters, pay half your life, special summon a level 4 lower elemental hero from the deck. And again, it doesn't need to be normal, so again, we could play Neos Alias, we could play Avion if we needed to, but more than likely, you're going to play this, you're going to go ahead and grab Shadow Mist, and this is immediately going to get you into the next card since it's going to extend off into its own search. So again, good stuff. We are obviously going to play 3 copies E-Emergency Call. This just searches out any elemental hero from the deck to your hand, which is always good. We're going to play 2 of the base Mask Change. Target a hero monster you control, send it to the graveyard. After that, if it left the field by this effect, special summon a masked hero monster with the same attributes as the sent monster when it was on the field. If it was face down, it goes by original. Again, the reason that we talk about this is, like, let's say that our opponent uses Book of Moon in response to us mask changing Homunculus, I guess. Since that could change from an altered state to just light, this would lock you into like a Koga play instead of going for Dark Law or Divine Wind. It is a thing. Doesn't really come up often, so just be aware of it. That's all. And then, of course, Mask Change 2, also quick play. But we're taking away the fact that you have to send a hero monster to the grave. Instead, we're going to have to discard a card to bring another card into being a hero. And again, you'll tribute it. It'll change into a monster that has a level that's higher than it and has to have the same attributes. So again, we could do the same thing here with Dark Law, but this means that Mask Change 2 also allows Summoner Monk to turn into Dark Law. So kind of deputizes non-heroes. Real quick, for the fusion spells, we're going to be running 1 Polymerization and 1 Miracle Fusion. I didn't find too much need for me to be playing the Great Tornado, but since it is a 3-time structure build, I need to be aware that this may end up happening, and it's also going to be a way to bring out the contrast hero. So again, it happens a little less often. I'm just going to put less cards in the deck for it. I'm going to put 2 copies, Pot of Duality. Again, you guys understand, this isn't exactly on the limit list. Could I have went 3? Yes. Should I? Maybe. If I do, what would I take out? Either this reinforcement of the army I'm about to show you guys, or one of the emergency calls. Because again, this is just allowing you to search through your deck and just grab some stuff. Moving to traps. We're going to go ahead with 2 bottomless trap holes. Again, as long as we're just doing something that is... How do I say this? If you can stop a loop or you can stop the important summon, this is still an okay move in 2024. It's not great, but it'll do. It'll do. For Resurrection, we're using 2 copies called the Haunted. Again, not as opportune as you might want it to be, but it's still good. 2 copies Compulse. Now, this I like better. Just like when I'm playing Magic and I'm playing like mono blue decks or anything that has blue, I love trampolines. And in Yu-Gi-Oh, when my trap cards can be activated whenever and always have an effect, I feel like those trap cards are just better trap cards. So being able to compulse and like mess up an entire combo by hitting the linchpin, that's a perfect move for me. And when it comes to just trying to clear the field, maybe I don't want to attack that face down defense. Maybe it's 2024. You might have a flip effect. I don't know. But yeah, it's good because you can just time it off whenever. Obviously, if we hit synchros, if we hit Xyz, we waste the resource. We waste the time to prep. And sometimes that's enough to put the opponent behind the 8 ball, just enough for us to claim victory. And last 2 cards, we're going to round out with 2 Hero Blasts. Now, Hero Blast has got a couple of targets in this deck. We're going to be able to target all copies of Elemental Hero Avion. We're also going to be able to target all copies of Elemental Hero Neos Alias, since he's considered a normal in the hand, field, and discard pile. And the way Hero Blast works, you target an Elemental Hero normal in the graveyard, add it back to hand. Then, if your opponent controls monsters with attack less than or equal to the attack of that card, destroy that card. So again, being able to do this with the Neos Alias means I could get a selective pop up to 1,900 points off the opponent's side. And, some of the most powerful cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Have low values because they have great effects. So again, being able to just pop this off on the opponent's turn, Very useful. Very useful. Give me a second, guys. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this mismatch of green and cards, and I'll be right back with the extra deck. All right, now to start the extra deck off, I'm going to go in just alphabetical order because it's what makes the most sense to me. So again, these would all be at 3s. Again, I just didn't dig out extra copies today. We did this the laziest, thriftiest way possible. The best way to make contrast, and the only way really, is to play 2 masked heroes again. We can do this with the polymerization. Technically, we could do this with the Miracle Fusion, since this card is considered and always treated as an elemental hero. First and foremost, like every hero card out there, must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by any other method. And while face up on the field, this card is going to always be considered light attribute as well. So it's always light and dark, hence the chaos. Good effect here. Once per turn during either player's turn, so it's essentially a quick effect. Target one face-up card on the field, negate that target's effects until the end of this turn. And since we can talk about this, we got a little bit of time. One target card, what does that mean? Well, it means your big Xyz, your big Link, your big Synchro, your big monster in general. That continuous spell that's driving me nuts, that continuous trap card that's driving me nuts. We can deal with field spells, pendulum scales, and just about everything here. So again, just kind of good. Next up, Elemental Hero Great Tornado. This is again going to be hero summoning status. No, cannot be must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by any other method. This is one hero, elemental hero monster plus any wind attribute. So again, double calling in for Avion, and we can tack this with Homunculus if we want. When this one is fusion summoned, have the attack and defense of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. That is a permanent effect. You will note it does not say till the end of the turn. So it is like Gale. It's Gale on steroids, for its effect at least. And then one of the beautiful things about this that I got asked a couple of times is, why does it say if this card is fusion summoned? Okay, so I will answer that in 3 words, and those words are Book of Moon. So if a card gets put face down, technically when I flip it back up, it's not me just re-revealing that I have Elemental Hero Great Tornado. Technically, I'm performing a type of normal summon known as a flip summon. And if this was any time the card was summoned, this would mean that I would be able to then further have it, since it doesn't say the original attacks and defenses of my opponent's monsters. So Great Tornado would easily have gotten out of control back in the day if that wording wasn't like that. So for anybody who was curious, that's the reason. They must have play tested it at least twice. Next up, Dark Law. So this is going to be the start of the 3 mask heroes that we were given in the structure deck. These are not all the mask heroes, by the way. We still have people like, want to say it was Acid. I think there was like a Mist or a Vapor or something. There was like 2 water attributes. I feel like there was an Earth one called Diane. There were a lot of very cool ones. This was the best one by far. It saw the most play, in my opinion. This is going to be it cannot be special summoned by any other method that is not mask change. So again, it's sort of like a fusion summon that's performed by doing a specific spell now, similar to evil heroes and needing dark fusion. Any card sent to the opponent's graveyard is banished instead. Once per turn, if your opponent would add cards from deck to hand, except during draw or damage steps, you may banish a card from their hand at random. So again, they decide to do like Pot of Extravagance. You add cards. Cool, I'm going to go ahead and banish something. They go Upstart Goblin. Cool, I'm going to banish something. And again, just like really disrupts play, really disrupts the opponent. So it's very one-sided floodgate. So it's very cool. Divine Wind is going to be mask change plus wind monster. Cannot be destroyed by battle. Your opponent can attack with only 1 monster during each battle phase. So very good floodgate-ish effect. And when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you get to draw a card, which again is always cool and was as good then as it is now. And then last but not least, we're going to be playing Masked Hero Koga at 3. So all of these guys were at 3. This is going to be Mask Change Spell plus Light Attribute. This card gains 500 attack value for every monster that your opponent controls, so the greater the odds against you, the greater his hit is. Once per turn during either player's turn, you may banish one hero from the graveyard, target a face-up monster card on the field. That target will then lose attack equal to the attack of the monster banished to activate this effect. So, the long story is, the bigger the monster that you banish, and again, I think the last time I talked about this, I used Avion, because Avion's just a cool 1,000 there. If we were to banish Avion for Koga's effect, we would be able to lower a monster's attack power by 1,000. So, like, let's just make this a one-on-one versus Blue Eyes. Technically, Koga's at 3k. Technically, Blue Eyes is at 3k. Until Koga uses Avion as fodder to drop Blue Eyes to 2k. So that's just how that would work. So again, these are would be at 3s each, so we would have a full extra deck. That was what that was. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. And again, I'm going to let you guys vote on it. If you guys want to see what I could do with, since I bought a lot of the newer staple cards. I'm still working on saving up for Triple Talent's Thrust. But if you guys are interested in seeing what I could do with these masked heroes just at like full power, let me know. We'll try to put that out sometime around like Tuesday, Wednesday next week if we do. It gives me the weekend to work on it. And again, I hope that you guys all enjoyed this. Hopefully you did. Hopefully you guys want to support the channel. And the good news is all it takes is a like, a comment, and maybe a sub. So do the things, don't do the things. Do the one favor for me, guys. Go out, have a wonderful day. Get your game on, go have fun. And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow with another deck, all right? All right, see you later.